Today we're going to recap Oklahoma versus TCU and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Considering the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we're going to recap Oklahoma versus TCU. But as I have been doing for the last month, if you don't know by now, you should know. I got this book coming out. It is called Let It Bang. It's my story about learning gun culture, getting really good with a pistol, so good that the NRA certified me as a pistol instructor, and what I learned about race politics. And now let's talk about Oklahoma football. And you know what? I was feeling really good about this game. Honestly, I really was. Especially coming off the loss to Texas, and because TCU had come off a loss to Texas Tech. And I was feeling really great because, well, hey man, Sean Robinson was a starting quarterback for TCU, and you can make an argument. Sean Robinson is the worst starting quarterback at a Big 12 school. So, of course, Gary Patterson starts him, and of course, Oklahoma's defense looks good. Didn't see a whole lot of changes, with one exception. Hello, Delarian Turner-Yell. It's nice to see you back there playing free safety. This is a guy that Lincoln Riley and the staff were very high on in the preseason, and a dude we expect to see a lot of until he had a leg injury. And now, apparently, with the change at coordinator, there's also the change of safety. And we've seen some Delarian Turner-Yell, but we also saw Jalen Redmond get on the field. So I was excited about that, and I was excited about seeing the defense play fast and loose because, hey man, they got a third down stop to start the game. The Ruffin McNeill era seemed to come with defense. And then Oklahoma scored, and then TCU scored, and then Oklahoma does that Oklahoma thing where they score 28 points. All of a sudden, the defense starts to come apart, and there are little things, right? There are little things that the refs helped out with, which is another reason to believe that this conference does not like having Oklahoma in it. We got these really awful, piss-poor calls. First one was excessive celebration, unsportsmanlike conduct in the end zone because the dudes did a DBZ celebration. To which I say that same Big 12 ref probably threw a flag at his kid's birthday party because they're celebrating there too. And then we had this non-football move penalty on Parnell Motley, who wasn't playing great, but also didn't deserve that. And then we had these illegal formations, and then we had the substitution rule. We just had a bunch of ticky-tacky fouls that we shouldn't have had, courtesy of Big 12 refs, who are persona non grata in Oklahoma. But even aside from the 8 penalties for 60 yards in the first half, my God, that's a lot. You had 2 dropped interceptions. One, Khalil Houghton, go through his hands. Look, that is a play you got to make as a free safety, and I understand this is why you don't play wide receiver, but you still have to make that catch. Also, Buki, at the line of scrimmage, doing what he does best, up close and personal, picking off passes, didn't come up with his first interception of his career, to which I was actually throwing my hands up and going, what's going on, Buki, dude? This is what you do. Especially as a guy who's been defending Buki all season, and that was an opportunity where he could have vindicated us all, and it just fell short. But also, this is really crucial. In every loss by TCU this year, Sean Robinson has thrown 2 interceptions. Those were the 2 interceptions I think Oklahoma should have had, courtesy of Sean Robinson. They were very Sean Robinson-like. Overthrowing one guy, throwing it straight to the strong safety, and throwing a pass into traffic that Buki should have come up with. And this is a really big deal because Gary Patterson finally did what he's been reluctant to do, which is pull the top QB recruit they've ever had at TCU for a transfer from Penn, and then Oklahoma's kryptonite, backup quarterbacks. Michael Collins, transfer from Penn, dude. I feel like I got to say transfer from Penn at least probably 4 or 5 more times because Penn, what transfers from Penn to the Big 12 and all of a sudden we're getting carved up? His first 3 passes, 2 of them were touchdowns. His passer efficiency rating was north of 400. And all of a sudden the TCU offense looks like they know how to play football because, well, it turns out Oklahoma's defense was not back. It was that TCU didn't play a real quarterback until Michael Collins. And to paraphrase my man, Reverend John, if you pick off passes, you keep teams from scoring. As it is, Oklahoma gave up 24 points and a half to a TCU team that hadn't scored more than 17 in an entire game in Big 12 play. They couldn't score more than 16 against Texas. They couldn't score more than 17 against Iowa State. And they couldn't score more than 14 against Texas Tech. This was absolutely an offense that OU's defense needed to pulverize. And in the first half, did not. Gave up 17 straight. And all of a sudden, a game that Oklahoma was leading 28-7 and was looking like it was going to be a runaway, a barn burner, 56-14 skull dragging, is 28-24 at the half. And TCU has Mr. Momentum running down their sideline. Again, a lot of this is refereeing, but some of this is just making the plays that are there for you to make. You have to pick off those passes, number one. Number two, Parnell Motley, I know he probably had the offensive pass interference on the touchdown that was caught on him, but also he's been getting his grits cooked all season. Why wasn't Trey Brown lined up against Jalen Reagor, who is their best wide receiver over there at TCU? Now, positives from the first half are holding TCU's rushing attack to just 31 yards total and averaging 2.8 yards per carry. So the rush defense is there. Guys are making plays on the front. Now, if we can only get guys to make plays on the back, that is the story going ahead for the season. And then the defense did what we all wanted it to do, which was improve. Like, I feel comfortable saying that the defense improved during Big 12 play against a bad TCU offense. But peep game, I've always thought that to improve, OU needed to hold a Big 12 team to under 400 yards total offense, under 30 points, hold teams to fewer than 35% on third down. Now, they didn't get 2 turnovers, but Parnell Motley, who will get his grits cooked all game, will get you that fourth quarter interception, and all I can do is smile about that, man. Now, think about if Buki had that pick 6 and it's 35-7. Hey, man, we're talking about the defense as, oh my goodness, look at what Ruffin McNeill has done. And I still think we need to do that because, check it out, the defense played fast, the defense played loose, no busted coverages, nobody was out of position, nobody didn't look like they knew what they were doing. Mark Jackson was not lined up over the top of anybody that he shouldn't be. We didn't see any oboe dropping in the coverage scheme. We saw cornerbacks in one-on-one positions where they were told, go make a play. Sometimes they got beat, sometimes they did not, but they were always in position to make a play. Of course, the man of the game is Kennedy Brooks, man. Kennedy Brooks has been the person a lot of people want to see as RB1 since Rodney Anderson went down. Since Trey Sermon has probably showed that he doesn't have the big playability that a lot of folks want to see from him. But that said, both Kennedy Brooks and Trey Sermon had over 100 yards rushing. Now, Kennedy Brooks was on demigod status with 18 carries for 168 yards with a TD, averaging 9.3 yards per carry. And Trey Sermon, whose first 13 carries went for 55 yards, ended with 17 carries for 110 yards. But the thing that I love most about the way that the offense played was, yeah, they got over 500 yards of offense like you do, but they ran the ball for more than 300 yards on 47 attempts. So check it. Oklahoma had more rushing yards than TCU had total yards, 323 to 275. The Sooners held TCU's defense to 4 of 14 on third down, and the front seven was led again by outstanding play from Kenneth Murray Jr. and Curtis Bolton. Curtis Bolton had a sack where he sliced through the offensive line like it was what's left of Jim Traber's credibility. Yes, we would love to see more tackles for loss, just 4 on the day, but I don't know that you could pick a fight with a defense that gave up all of 20 points in 4 quarters of football and got its first red zone stop of the season. Never mind that it came in the 7th game of the 3rd quarter on a missed field goal, but hey, W is where we can take W's because apparently Oklahoma's still a place where we get moral victories. No, it's not. So in a 52-27 skull dragging, I gotta say that the defense is probably tired of y'all calling them soft. I know that I would be. If I was on the defense and I had a Hellman shoulder pad, somebody'd be paying for me getting called soft. In the first game in the post-Mike Stoops era, where the defense held a Big 12 team to 20 points, the last thing that they should be called coming out of this game is soft. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.